reevaluate again in another week. And then on Coach Kerr, I mentioned to some of you guys last night, guys and gals, we're not, our medical staff's message to me and to Mike was, we're not giving updates every day. When he's ready to come back and he's passed these tests and passed all these hurdles, they'll let us know. So just plan on Mike coaching until Mike's told otherwise and until we're told otherwise. So they're not going to say, hey, he's passed one test, he needs to pass one more 24 hours from now. Mike's going to be coaching until they come to us and say, Mike, you're no longer coaching. Steve's back and taking over. So just so we don't have to continue to give daily updates. So with that, I'll open up for the first question. I don't know if I see a hand up right now. All right. Any questions for me? Monty Poole, go ahead.
Yeah, Mike, what kind of rotational changes might be in the offing? I mean, maybe I should put it another way. With the Grizzlies playing big, what are some ways that you may be able to counteract their big their size rotation?
Well, my biggest thing is box out. You know, we've out rebounded them 4 out of 5 games, including Game 4. And, you know, last night for the first time, we didn't do a great job of putting bodies on bodies and trying to keep them off the glass. So that's the biggest thing.
All right, Tim Kawakami, go ahead.
Hey, Mike, you guys have seen defenses kind of like lay off of Draymond before and have had counters, but have you ever dealt with it like this? Is it this a little more extreme? And what are the things that you were trying to do to counteract that in Game 5? And what could you do in the future?
Yeah, you know, you got to give Memphis credit. They've defended us well the last couple of years. You know, they beat us for the play-in game and did a nice job defensively throughout the course of this year. They've done a nice job. And even if you think about it, throughout this series, I mean, it's kind of been a grinded out series. We shook loose one game, Game 3. They obviously shook loose in Game 5. So other than that, it's been a little bit of a struggle for both teams to shoot and or score. So just watching the way that they play, they do a great job of just clogging that paint. As soon as the ball is close to getting near the paint, you know, Jaren Jackson's coming in, Steven Adams is in, Steven Adams is off, Draymond, and they're long. And it's hard at times for guards to kick the ball out because there aren't a lot of outlet passes. And then you give them credit too that once they collapse, they do a great job of flaring out and trying to still contest shots. And so one of the things we have to do a better job of is we have to get off the ball a little bit sooner. You know, we can't penetrate as deep, and we just got to make the next simple pass. And then on top of that, you know, Draymond has to continue being aggressive. If Steven Adams is off, he's got to let it fly. You know, I mean, he's knocked down big shots for us before, and then he's got to keep playing his dribble handoff game.
Great. All right. Mark Medina.
Mike, good to see you. How's Otto Porter Jr. doing?
You know, I think fine. You know, he's listed. What's he listed at? Double R?
Questionable for tomorrow.
Yeah, questionable for tomorrow. So I think he's fine. You know, we didn't do anything today. We just flew back.
Yeah, the second thing I had, like, big picture, what's jumped out to you with how the Grizzlies have played without Ja when he's been out of the lineup, and how do you guys kind of counteract that?
Well, you know, Monty and Tim alluded to that with their questions. I mean, obviously, they've inserted Steven Adams into the lineup, and so they're much bigger. And because of that, defensively, there aren't as many lanes to get to the rim and to finish at the rim. Their length is probably second to none in the league in terms of their ability to get hands in the passing lane. So they do a great job of shutting down the passing lanes, and obviously it makes it a lot harder to box out, because they're playing extremely big. So and then also their offense isn't focused. When Ja is playing, at least is particularly in this series, when Ja was playing, he was a heavy focus on what they did offensively, and now the ball is in a lot of different people's hands, and a lot of different people are attacking from different angles, and even Adams has it at the elbow, and he's playing the split game. So you have to go in knowing how to defend multiple actions, as opposed to just trying to sit on Ja's pick and roll and driving ability.
All right, Mark Haynes, go ahead.
Hey, Coach. I know you guys like to play with a lot of pace, but is the Memphis Grizzlies, are they speeding you guys up a little too much early in the games, or is that the pace you guys want to be at, just kind of making turnovers and things like that?
Well, we don't want to make any turnovers. That's a tough one for us. Obviously, it's kind of what we've done throughout the entire playoffs. We had trouble turning the ball over, even against Denver. And in terms of length and athleticism, Denver is long, but they're not as athletic as Memphis and as quick as Memphis. So it's just something that we have to look in the mirror and try to do a little bit better. We got to try to take care of the ball a little bit better, and not go for home run passes all the time, and try to get into some actions, especially early in the game, until we can get to our space and pace game. But you give Memphis credit. It's not that we haven't faced these guys before and been able to handle it to a certain degree, but you give them credit because they stepped up in most of the games in these series. We just found a way to win, and a lot of it really has started and ended on the defense end of the floor, especially when it comes to keeping them off the glass.
All right, I had an iPhone on here. I know, Anthony Slater, you had one before that your name was on.
Yes, it is.
There you go.
Caught me again. Yeah, Jordan has. This series has played out a little similarly to the last series. 3 really good games to start. Quiet game 4 and 5. What are you seeing that's changed? I don't know if it's maybe the way they're defending him, or what do you think has led to Jordan's struggle suddenly in this series?
Well, we just, we want him again. Give Memphis a little bit of credit for the way they're defending, but the biggest thing is we just want him to be aggressive and to play free and confident, like he's more than capable of doing. Because when he does, it's great for us. We need him to step up and play big, especially on the offense end of the floor. And right now, it's tough because part of JP's game is his ability to get to the rim. His quickness or speed to get downhill or change speeds, get to the rim, and that usually gets him going at times from the perimeter. And with the way that they're clogging the paint, it's been a little tough for him to get down in there and to be able to finish, because they're sending multiple bodies at him. So other guys going to have to step up and make some shots when he kicks it out. See if that can loosen up their defense a little bit to get JP going downhill.
All right, a couple of people who still have their hands raised. Monty, did you have another question?
Yeah, Mike, what did you think of the overall competition level, the desire to compete in Game 5?
Monty, I tell you what, the playoffs are extremely hard. They're tough. I don't remember who scored what, but if you think about in the last couple of days, including us, there might have been a total of 3 to 5 playoff games in this round where teams lost by 20, 30 plus points, and everybody's bounced back and the next game and competed at a high level. I have 100% faith in our team that stuff like this happens. Steve says it all the time. Championships are hard to come by, and if that path to a championship was easy, it wouldn't be as gratifying. You got people crying and getting emotional when you get there because it's extremely hard. And you again give Memphis credit; they jumped on us, turnovers and some missed assignments by us, and offensive rebounding, and it kind of snowballed in their building. And we don't like that, and we're not okay with it, but it happens at times, and when it does, you can't overreact, because at the end of the day, it's a one game loss.
All right, Tim, did you have another question as well?
Yeah, Mike, you didn't get to the small lineup at all last game. Was that a factor of what was going on, or you did you go away from it in that game? And what are the plans for it maybe generally in the future?
In terms of Jordan, Clay,
yeah,
and Steph?
Yeah, Jordan, Clay, Steph, Wiggins, Draymond, that unit.
Yeah, and we look at, Otto and Wiggs are basically kind of the same. We're still small, when there's four shooters out there. We played that way a little bit. I can't remember during what part of the game, but I thought we played that way a little bit. The biggest thing I felt was we were getting hurt on the glass, and that's why I decided to start Bielitsa in the second half to see if with his length or his size, that can counteract us getting beat on the weak side glass by Steven Adams. But again, the small ball lineup has done well for us. It's something that we won't hesitate to use at any time because of the ability of particularly those four guys. But again, I look at it. If Otto is out there at the four sometimes, to me, that's just as effective, because it's more about us having the ability to spread the floor than just quote unquote being small.
Dalton Johnson, go ahead.
Yeah, Coach. After Clay went 0 for 7 to get me 4 from 3, I think he made his first 3-pointer. What do you think of his shot early on? It seemed like it was a little more in rhythm in this game.
Yeah, I thought he got some good looks early on, and Clay, similar to Steph, they're unbelievable shooters, and especially when Clay is on balanced, you can almost count a shot wherever he's taking it on the floor. You can almost count that as in, and so I thought he got some good looks, especially early in the game last night.
Thank you.
Chris Alvarez.
Hi, Coach. This being a closeout game, at what point will you know that your team is kind of locked in, and how important it is to get off to a good start, because you've started slow in some of these games recently?
Yeah, most of the guys on our team have been in this situation. You look at Wiggs, and I don't think Otto's been this far, but Otto, JP. There are a few guys on the roster that are playing minutes right now. Even JK, they haven't, faced a closeout game in the second round. Obviously, every round you go and you try to close somebody out, it's that much harder because the teams are better, usually. And so I truly believe that our team, they'll be ready, they'll be focused, they understand how hard it is, and to have our home crowd supporting us tomorrow night is going to be a big bonus in our favor.
Mark Medina, did you have another one as well?
Yeah, Mike, on the crowd, how would you compare what the vibe's been at Chase Center during the playoffs compared to the Oracle years?
Oh, it's been great. In a lot of it, I usually get it measured by the people that I have that come to the game that are, friends and family of mine. And, after the games at home, people said that it was deafening in there. And sometimes you pick up on it as a coach, sometimes you don't, but you can definitely feel the energy in there.
Marcus Thompson, go ahead.
Coach, in the past, especially when you were filling in for Steve, you guys made an exerted effort to get the big man out, get him in space against the guards. And you haven't done much of that against Steven Adams this time. But do you feel like that's an area that has been underutilized, the ability to get a guard out onto a big man and just go?
Yeah, no, we're that's something that we're emphasizing, a lot. We want to put Adams in pick and roll. They know it. We want to do it in space. And like I said, you got to give them credit because he's done a good job of trying to be up the floor and forcing us to drive. Dylan Brooks has done a good job, especially with Steph and trying to stay on his hip or trail from behind. And
Where's the volume? Here.
Where's your volume?
Volume plus. Yeah, it's on the way.
Hey, Art, if you got a question, we can hear you. Go ahead and ask a question.
And then on the backside, Jaron's doing a great job of coming in and making that paint crowded. So again, when we bring the bigs out and get them in space, it's not always just us hitting threes. A lot of it too is us getting to the rim and trying to finish, or even getting to the rim and kicking. And
first I couldn't get in, then now I get in, but I can't hear.
And
I got it turned up. I don't want to call them.
We haven't done a good job of, when we get to the paint, to be able to find guys on the weak side.
All right, Christos, go ahead.
Hello, Coach. Hope you're doing well, first of all. In Game 5, it was the first time in this series that the Grizzlies out-rebound you. How you would like to respond in Game 6? And what do you expect to see from your players physically wise?
I'm sorry, what the last part? What do you expect to see from your players, speaking about the physicality of it? Yeah, I mean, bottom line is we have to put bodies on bodies. That's one of the things that we've been doing at a high level, no matter who's been out on the floor. When the shots goes up, our guys have tried to turn and find the body and hit them first. And then, bigger guys like Jaren Jackson, Steven Adams, Brandon Clark, at times we'll send a second guy to their body to try to keep them off the glass. And so that's something that we have to really have a conscious effort of doing tomorrow night.
Monty, did you have another question as well?
Yeah, Mike. When you guys started JK in Game 3, it kind of felt like an experiment to see what he can give you. But he came back to start in Games 4 and 5. Are you guys seeing something beneficial with him out there?
Hey, one of the things that we liked was he's a vertical threat when we play pick and roll with Draymond, rolling in the pocket. And we've had a couple of plays where Steph's hit Draymond in the pocket when we played pick and roll, and Draymond's kind of throwing it up behind the defense. JK went up and dunked it. And so with the right spacing, we can get those looks from time to time. And then defensively, we felt that we're switching a lot of pick and rolls. We felt that he's great switching pick and roll, and it also buys some minutes with somebody.
Maybe I can get it out of my. You can. Everything goes wrong with me.
It also buys some minutes with somebody else on Jaren Jackson. So, again, JK, he's kind of learning on the fly, and his growth has been tremendous, especially in the short amount of time that he's been with us and getting some minutes in the playoffs. And his number can be called on at any time because of his size and his length, his athleticism, and then his ability to score.
Thanks, Mike.
Yep.